5 foods that are quietly destroying your prostate after 70. I thought I was eating healthy, but one food I trusted for decades was slowly damaging my prostate, and no doctor warned me. If you're a man over 60, you might be eating it too, every single day. That realization hit me like a punch to the gut. Not because I was scared, but because it was preventable. All those nights waking up to pee the interrupted sleep, the discomfort I had brushed off for years. They weren't just part of aging. They were warning signs. And the real culprit wasn't just time. It was what I put on my plate. The truth is, many men our age are living with silent inflammation. We don't feel it at first. We just start sleeping worse. We feel more tired, more irritable. And then one day, we find ourselves sitting in a urologist's office wondering what went wrong. But what if someone had told you earlier? What if instead of vague advice like, watch your diet, you knew exactly which foods were quietly fueling your prostate problems? That's why this video exists, not to scare you, but to give you clarity. Because no man deserves to suffer in silence when simple changes could make such a difference. And the good news, these changes are not extreme. They don't require fancy supplements or expensive treatments, just awareness and a willingness to act. So if you're new here and care about living strong after 60, hit the subscribe button. Your support helps us keep sharing life-saving insights for seniors like you. Here's a question for you. Which do you think causes more long-term harm? A, the foods you already know are bad for you. B, the foods you trust but never suspected. Type your answer A or B in the comments below. Now, let's uncover the 5 foods you may need to rethink before they do more damage than you realize. Let's start with the first and perhaps most overlooked danger: processed red meats. That includes bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, staples in many American kitchens, especially for men who grew up with them on their breakfast plates or at weekend barbecues. What most people don't realize is that these meats are loaded with compounds that quietly inflame the prostate. We're talking about nitrates, nitrites, and high levels of saturated fat, all of which trigger oxidative stress, a process that damages cells over time. And for aging prostates, that damage isn't minor, it's cumulative. Studies from Harvard and the American Cancer Society have shown that men who consume processed meats regularly have a significantly higher risk of aggressive prostate cancer. But even before reaching that extreme, these foods can lead to chronic low-grade inflammation that worsens urinary symptoms more frequent, urination, weaker flow, or difficulty emptying the bladder. And here's the kicker: you don't need to eat huge amounts for the harm to start. Even just a few servings a week over time can quietly push your body toward dysfunction without any dramatic warning signs. Many men think switching to turkey bacon or reduced sodium sausage is enough. But unless you're choosing fresh, minimally processed meats without additives, you're still putting your prostate under unnecessary pressure. The good news is, you don't have to give up flavor. Lean cuts of chicken-baked salmon or even hearty lentil-based meals can provide the protein you need without the silent damage. After 70, your body isn't as forgiving. The foods we once enjoyed without consequence can now come at a cost we never expected. It's not about fear. It's about making informed choices while we still have the chance. Another hidden threat to your prostate and your overall well-being comes in the form of convenience. specifically canned soups and frozen meals. They're easy, cheap, and require no prep, which is exactly why so many older adults rely on them. But what feels convenient today could create major discomfort tomorrow. The problem lies in the sodium. A single serving of canned soup can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, sometimes even more, if the label says hearty or extra flavor. Now consider that many seniors eat the entire can in one sitting. That's often more than half the daily recommended limit in just one meal. Excess sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it also causes fluid retention and places added pressure on the kidneys and bladder. For men with enlarged prostates, that means more urgency, more nighttime trips to the bathroom, and more inflammation in the surrounding tissues. Over time, this cycle wears the body down. What starts as minor inconvenience turns into persistent disruption, broken sleep, elevated stress, and a bladder that never feels fully emptied. I know how tempting it is to reach for something quick, especially if you live alone or don't feel like cooking. But there are better options. Low-sodium soups you make in batches with fresh vegetables, simple stews with beans, brown rice and herbs. Even warming up leftover baked fish and sweet potatoes gives your body real nourishment without the salt overload. At this age, food isn't just about filling your stomach. It's about reducing stress on your body and helping your organs function more peacefully. The less you burden your system with hidden sodium, the more energy and clarity you get to keep for the things that truly matter. Now let's talk about a comfort that's harder to let go of: fried foods. French fries, fried chicken onion rings, donuts. They bring back memories of road trips, family diners, football, Sundays. But after 70, your body remembers them differently. The issue isn't just the calories. It's the type of fat used in deep frying, particularly trans fats, and reused vegetable oils. These fats trigger systemic inflammation, clog arteries, and disrupt hormonal balance. And when you already have an aging prostate, inflammation becomes a serious concern. Trans fats have been directly linked to increased risks of prostate enlargement and even prostate cancer. The body doesn't metabolize these fats easily, especially as we age. Instead, they linger slow circulation and damage tissue, including the sensitive tissues of the prostate and surrounding organs. What's worse is that fast food chains and even home fryers often reuse oil multiple times, breaking it down into toxic compounds. Every time you eat a crispy golden fry or a fast food donut, you're not just indulging, you're feeding a fire inside your body that doesn't show up until it's already done harm. You don't have to give up all flavor or crunch. A simple air fryer, a drizzle of olive oil, or switching to oven-roasted vegetables can deliver that same satisfaction without the silent damage. What matters now isn't just taste. It's the ability to walk without stiffness, sleep through the night, and feel like yourself. At this stage in life, fried food might satisfy your cravings, but it could also be the reason you're waking up at 3 a.m. wondering why your body doesn't feel like home anymore. Of all the everyday habits that quietly chip away at prostate health, sugary drinks might be the most underestimated. Soda-sweetened iced tea, flavored coffee creamers, and even so-called energy drinks are often seen as harmless treats, especially if you're not overdoing it. But the truth is, after 70, even a single glass a day can push your body in the wrong direction. Sugar isn't just about calories or blood sugar. It plays a major role in triggering insulin resistance, increasing inflammation, and stimulating the production of IGF-1, a growth hormone that's been linked to prostate enlargement and cancer. For an aging prostate already dealing with hormonal shifts, that's a dangerous mix. The real issue is that sugar hides in places you might not expect. That unsweetened iced tea from the store, it might still have added syrups. That fancy latte packed with sugar, unless you customize every ingredient. And once that sugar enters your system, it doesn't just disappear. It affects your hormone balance, your sleep cycle, and yes, even your bladder function. Many men assume that if they've avoided soda, they're safe. But sugar has become sneaky. It lives in drinks we think of as harmless, and it builds up its damage slowly until the urgency to urinate increases, the flow weakens, and the sleep disappears. You don't need to give up comfort. Unsweetened cranberry tea, lemon water with stevia, or even a warm mug of plain green tea can offer refreshment and support urinary health without the hormonal backlash. The drinks we choose after 70 aren't just about hydration. They're a form of self-defense. And when you make the switch, even in small ways, your body will thank you with clarity, steadier energy, and nights of sleep you thought were long gone. The last category on this list often surprises people because, for decades, we were told that milk builds strength, cheese gives us calcium, and dairy keeps bones healthy. But what we weren't told is how full-fat dairy affects an aging prostate. Whole milk, cheese, heavy cream, they're high in saturated fat. And while that might not have been a big deal when we were younger after 70, our bodies respond differently. Saturated fat promotes chronic low-level inflammation and increases estrogen-like activity in the body, which can disrupt hormonal balance and stimulate growth in prostate tissue. Several studies, including research from Harvard's School of Public Health, have shown that men who consume high amounts of full-fat dairy have a greater risk of developing advanced prostate problems, both in terms of size and severity. And here's the tough part. The effects are subtle at first. You don't feel anything. You just start to notice that your urgency is worse. Your flow is slower. Your energy dips after meals. And unless you're paying attention, it's easy to miss the connection. But here's the good news: you don't have to give up dairy altogether. You simply need to choose smarter alternatives. Almond milk, oat milk, or low-fat Greek yogurt can give you that creamy texture and satisfying taste without flooding your system with inflammation triggers. At this stage in life, every bite and sip either helps your body function better or quietly works against it. And when it comes to dairy, it's not about cutting it out completely. It's about understanding what your body can still handle and choosing what supports your health, not just your habits. Your prostate won't send loud warnings, but the quiet changes you make today could spare you from far louder consequences later. If there's one lesson I've learned from everything we've talked about today, it's this: our health in our later years isn't just about avoiding sickness. It's about preserving dignity, independence, peace of mind, the ability to sleep through the night, walk with strength, and enjoy each moment without being controlled by pain, urgency, or fear. The foods we eat after 70 aren't just about taste or habit. They are tools. Every choice we make, what we put on our plate or pour into a glass, is either building us up or quietly tearing us down. I know how easy it is to say, "It's too late to change," or "I've eaten this way my whole life." I've said those things myself, but the truth is, our bodies are always listening, and they respond to even the smallest act of care. Cutting back on processed meats, choosing low-sodium meals, swapping sugary drinks for tea, or trading fried food for something baked. It's not about giving up everything. It's about giving your body a better chance to keep showing up for you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. And every step, no matter how small, is a statement that says, I still matter. My health still matters. So here's a simple way to put this into action. Choose one of the 5 food changes we talked about today. Just one. And try it for the next week. See how you feel. Sleep better. Move easier. That's your body thanking you. And it's worth listening to. Now let me ask you this. Which small change are you most ready to make this week, and why? Leave your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear what speaks to you. And if this video helped you see things differently, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, reach more people, and create more content for seniors like you. And if you feel moved to support this mission, you can also make a small donation. But most of all, thank you for being here. Your presence means more than you know.